Hello everybody, welcome to Season 9, round number 1 here at the Circuit of Australia, known as Albert Park for F2. Apologies on the starting bit, I don't know what keeps going on. It keeps freezing and then unfreezing itself, so hopefully you can hear me, which I believe you can, and everything is working to its finest. Like I said, I've got no clue what's going on, but we'll leave it at that one. Touch wood, nothing else happens. But yes, we're back for a brand new season of F2 here at Phoenix, and as you can see, like I just said a minute ago, round number 1 here at the Circuit of Australia, known as Albert Park, and also having a look at round 2, we've got the lovely track of Vegas, round 3, Suzuka, and so many more exciting rounds to watch, tune in for with the Tier 2 lot and the Tier 1 lot. It's going to be a great show, trust me. And at the circuit today, we have a total of 14 corners, and I believe it's 4 DRS zones. How crazy is that? On the exit of turn 2 to turn 3, there's a little dose of DRS, not much, but we could see a potential overtaking opportunities maybe there. And then on the exit of 8 all the way down to number 9, there's a little bit of DRS there as well. Exit of 10 to 11, same again, DRS, then same again for turn 14. Exit down to turn 1, you've got a massive dose of the DRS. And as everybody wants to know as well, where are the most overtaking opportunities going to be, Flynn? Well, in my eyes, I would say maybe on the exit of turn 6 down to 9. Obviously there's a massive straight. If you get in that toe, you'll be flying, you'll be sending it, and most likely be getting an overtake done there for sure. Maybe on the exit of 14 down to turn 1, a little overtake there. There are a few straights here. Interesting, sharp, aggressive, non-aggressive corners. We'll just see how we get on, but what everyone's excited to see and waiting to see is who's racing this season and who is in the lobby. So, you know what? Let's turn our eyes to that attention right now, because here you go. This is going to be the F2 lot for this season so far. So we've got the lovely Suffocating Racing as Campos Racing, Mr. Techus in the Prima Racing seat. We've got Maverick as well in Prima Racing, Ryan Gosling in Art Grand Prix team. You got Carlin of Fazbear and Vers as well. Lazy Banana in the MP Motorsports. You got Twin in a name I've never heard of before, Vans Armavort Racing. Sounds Dutch or something, but I could be completely wrong. We then have James Mustang in the high-tech team. Viper Strikes going to be in the Campos Racing team alongside Suffocating, and then we've got Jakob Spins a lot also in the same team as Twin. I believe we've got a few more potential races and reserves joining the lobby, so we should get going very, very shortly. It's bang on 8 o'clock, so we'll be going literally any moment of time. And if you're new to Phoenix and you're wondering, Flynn, how on earth does this work? Well, you see right here, we get a one-shot qualifying to see who the fastest driver is on the track at the moment, and then obviously we have 12 laps of a sprint race with a reversed grid for the top 10, I believe it is, or it might be after the race. No, yeah, it's after the sprint race, my apologies on that one. And then once we get into the 17 laps, like I said, it then reverses for the top 10, and we see a lot of fighting going on. Fast-paced drivers, slow-paced drivers. We'll just see what happens. It's very, very exciting. And Darkness has gifted a tier 1 sub to PCOM77. Thank you so much, Darkness, and welcome to the stream, buddy. How are you doing today? And we did have Joe in the chat saying we're just waiting on Jakob. Why am I not surprised, Joe? Imagine waiting on Jakob. That's fine. We should get going very, very shortly then, but I see he's in the lobby, so we'll literally go any moment, I'd say. Any moment, and we'll be heading off into the first round of the season here at Australia. I'm very, very excited. We'll see how we get on. But we're just playing the waiting game now. We're just playing the waiting game. So any moment, we'll get the green flag light, and we'll get into the lobby. And yes, as well, to answer many, many questions which people have been wanting to know, I will be full-time commentator for F2 as well. So you've got me for this whole season to deal with me. So we'll keep an eye on the championship, constructors, stuff like that. Get an update on that 24/7, and we'll see who can be crowned our Season 9 Drivers' Champion. And a big question of them all, even though it's round number 1, who are you supporting for this season, and who do you think is going to take the first win of round 1? Who are you thinking? Who are we thinking? Nah, that's fine, Darkness. No worries, buddy. No worries indeed. Enjoy your CS game. I'm going to enjoy some wonderful racing and qualifying for a one-shot. So, yeah. Jakob, just keep out of the walls, buddy. Don't spin like you do on ACC, and you'll be fine, my friend. You'll be fine. All right, just do those 2 things for me, and you'll be fine. All right, just do that, and like I said, you'll be fine. You'll be fine after that. Don't you worry. I have full faith in you, Jakob. Imagine. But some exciting news as well if you're interested. As you may or may not have seen in the breaking news, obviously we have the ACC season starting tomorrow, which is very, very exciting as well. And if you didn't know, I will be doing that once again for season number 9 at ACC commentating. So you got to deal with me for that as well. So I don't know how you're going to take it, but there you go. You got me for F2 and ACCs. We'll see how it goes. It should be fairly interesting. Yeah. Here we go then. We're getting the green flag, potentially, to crack on with some racing. Do. Bam, 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 bam. Let's have a look. Who else are we waiting on? I guess while we're waiting a little bit longer, we could go ahead and have a chit chat once again about the calendar. So as you can see, obviously we've got a few interesting rounds, like I said earlier, about Vegas, and then we've got Suzuka. That would be a lot of fun for some racing action. And then you've got the likes of Netherlands returning to the calendar. So we've got round number 4, which is going to be a lovely track that I love to commentate and I love to race so much. I don't know what it is about Netherlands, but I just love it so much. And then we've got China returning for round 5, Spa for round 6, 7 Miami, 8 Mexico, and round number 9 to finish off the season, Imola. But anyways, enough about that, because we're getting in to the lobby. Here we go then. We're loading. We're waiting to see what drivers are going to do around this track. I'm probably going to expect roughly maybe the 120s, 122s, 21s. I could be wrong because obviously these are F2 cars. They're not F1 cars. So the only thing they do get is DRS. They don't get the ERS assisted boost. So we'll just see what they can do. And we're just playing the patient game to get into the lobby and crack on with some racing action. Jakob has also left the session, which isn't ideal, so hopefully he'll get an invite back into the lobby. Fingers crossed. Here we go then. Everyone right now getting their setup sorted. It is looking dry, which is lovely to see, so there should be no problems of rain. A little bit cloudy though, which probably does mean there could be high chances of track temperature not rising so much, so it could be a little bit cold either way for track grip and tyres. So tyres obviously might take a little bit longer to warm up, but that's not a problem whatsoever. We'll just wait for the setups to get sorted. The wait a minute, obviously, it's the new rule, 60-second rule. We've got to wait a minute, and then they'll get on the track, do their lap, and see who the fastest is. I'm probably going to predict Tetris on pole position. But we'll find out what happens here, because this circuit can predict anything. You know, back in 2023 with the IRL Australian GP, we had a crazy first restart and then a second restart with the second red flag. That was just absolutely crazy. You had Alpine into the wall at turn 1. It was just carnage. You had Red Bull off. You had Sergio Red Bull driver off track. It was just Alonso spun. It was just crazy. But anyways, then here's the countdown timer. Let's go on board. Who we got on board with today? Let's have a look and see. We're on board with Twin. So we'll stay on board with Twin to see how they get on for their qualifying lap, and we keep an eye on the leaderboard at the moment. Jakob Spinzalot is in P1, but obviously they're going to drop down the order fairly quickly because, as we know, he's not in the lobby because he's disconnected, so hopefully, like I said, we get him back in very shortly. But so far, on board with Twin now, currently in P3, then drops down to P5, into the first couple of corners of Sector 1, exiting 4 now, heading straight to 5, and then he's going to get into 6, 7 very shortly. This here could be a bit of a tricky corner to get right in the F2 cars and the F1 cars. It's a little bit easy, I'd say. But so far, Twin making his way around the circuit so neatly, shall I say. No major errors. Currently in P6. Looking at the top 3 right now is obviously Tachus in P1, Suffocating in P2, and Ryan Gosling there slotting into P3, Scallop in P4, and like I said, Twin was in P6. Now he's moved up to P5 and then drops down again as Vers making his way up to the top 3 now, as we can see. It's quite interesting there. Suffocating dropped down to P4, so it's all changing on the grid so far. But what is interesting is that Juice hasn't moved away from that P1 spot, so it still goes to show that he is the driver to still beat from last season, and back-to-back Drivers' Championships. We will find out to see if he can do that, because if he can, that would be absolutely fantastic. But as Twin now crosses the line, what is his lap time going to be? Across the line, it's going to be a 129.3. And Tatusta a 129.359, Ryan a 129.674, Scallop a 129.7110. Vers fairly close in P4, not far away from P3. A very close and tight grid for the start of the sprint race. We'll see what happens when we get into the main race very later. But now it's time for the sprint. But I did say Maverick had left the session, so I don't know if EA servers are having a moment. Let's just have a look and see what's going on. Let's see. I think there's slight issues going on because now I've got a please wait screen. So hopefully there's no issues, but I am just double checking now to see what's going on. Oh, okay. It appears my game has crashed. Lovely. This is, no, has it? It's still loading. Oh, it has crashed. Never mind. Apologies about that, folks. I'll put you back on the calendar screen. I'm going to reboot my game because I don't know what's going on. It just decided to say, you know what, I'm going to crash, and in doing so, it's done that. So we'll try and relog as quickly as we can. For now, you can just look at the lovely calendar screen, and I'll try and get on the game as soon as possible. Don't know what happened there. Apologies about that, folks. Like everyone says, it's probably just one of those days with F1 wanting to crash on me just like that, you know. Here we go. We're getting back in the game. We're getting back in there. It's just taking longer than expected, which isn't normal for my computer, so I have no clue what's going on. Come on. As we got qualifying done and dusted, what does everyone think in the chat about that session? Did anybody have any ups and downs or any commotion like that? Or was it all set sailing? We'll get you back on this screen. There we go. Taking its time, but we're getting in the lobby. I say getting in the lobby, just still loading the game. There we go. Let's open up Steam. Let's get back in there, shall we? Here we go. Okay, so we kind of missed the start of the race, but it's not a massive issue. We should be able to catch up and see what's going on position-wise. What an absolute nightmare chat we're having so far. Oh, don't worry, Sobrin. The race is coming. My game decided to crash. I think EA or F1, whatever it is having a few issues. Because I know others' games crash as well, but we're just slowly loading back in. Trying to. It's very painful at the moment. I don't know why it's taking so long. But how are we, Soybean? Hope we're doing well. Come on. There we go. Me in, please. There we go. We're back. We are back. So, you know, here we go. Let's see what's happened. So we've got James currently in P number 1. We've got the track map open there. We've got Suffocating sitting in a comfortable P2 at the moment. We've got Ryan Gosling in P3, but having a fabulous fight with Mr. Tetous, but Tetous get up into P3 there and heading down to turn 1. They're still going to be going wheel to wheel almost. Oh, a bit of a shove there. And Ryan Gosling slightly on the grass, shall we say, but there was no spins, and saying of spins, in the background, he had someone spun around. I think it was, yeah, it was indeed. It was Lazy Banana, who drops all the way down to P10 and then loses the position out to Jakob Spins a Lot, who's made it in to the top 10. So a decent getaway for them. I'm sure they'll be very, very happy about that one. But what's interesting and exciting for me is we've got a fantastic fight all the way down from P number 9, I'd say heading up to P number 6. So this is crazy. So let's see what happens here. All the cars now making their way through sector 2, making their way out turn number 8, heading towards turn number 9. This is only lap number 3, but we've got DRS activated this lap. Is there going to be anybody to do an overtaking opportunity move potentially? That's going to be a no at the moment, but let's make our way up the grid order, because actually we might have a move here by Twin to get past Fazbear here for P7. We've got a retirement on track as well, but I believe that's not going to be a safety car, so we're still be in racing speed. And there we have it then. We've got Twin making their way up into P7, getting past Fazbear. We've got someone having a bit of a fight with Viper Strikes. It's Scallop. He's going to try and go around the outside here, which you don't normally see overtakes happen here. Viper Strikes of the inside line, but it's going to be yeah, sorry, it's going to be Viper Strike. I'm getting things muddled up here. It's not Groff. It's a good start for the F2 lights. It's not been a great night. So Viper Strikes is ahead of Scallop by going around the outside and getting a better exit. We've got Twin in the background at the moment, trying to get close enough to Viper Strikes, but isn't able to get the move done. And my game is having more problems, but we're going to ignore it for now. And here we go then. So we've got Scallop in the background, trying to think, how on earth do I get past these two? But as he's got the pressure, Vers behind right now in P8 is looking very, very tasty and saying, you know what, I'd really love that position, because where he's sitting right now, there are penalties. If we have a look at those penalties, they're roughing around 6 to 3 seconds. So if Vers keeps it nice and tidy and keeps within track limits, he'll be on for a very good show here to make up 2 positions, because I do see Suffocating in P1 having a splendid scrap, I'd say, with James, as we can see right there. But not Viper Strike, Suffocating would be on for a win here in the sprint race, but having that penalty isn't ideal, which means he would lose out at the moment. So if he wants to try and be in the top 3, he's got to build that gap to Ryan Gosling, but Ryan Gosling is munching away and chomping down that gap. Second, tenths, every single sector, every single corner. So he's a very fast driver to potentially watch out for. So we might see a bit of a scrap here, potentially in the background, which isn't happening just yet. But the pressure is building for these drivers like Viper Strikes right now, trying to get the move done on Twin, but just isn't close enough. So there's a little bit of a train forming for these cars here. So maybe they'll turn up the heat very, very shortly. We did almost see a move by the top 3, but Ryan Gosling is starting to catch, but he's losing time in sector 1, so that's potentially where he is struggling. We've got positions happening and swapping in the background. We've got Lemav going very, very slowly. I'm betting that is AI driving, that's not Lemav himself, so hopefully he can get back in the lobby very, very shortly. Jakob down in P12 at the moment with a 3-second time penalty for corner cutting. Definitely not ideal. And then you have Lazy Banana down in P10, but like I say, most of the action is P9 to P6, and then P9 to P5, apologies on that one, and then Ryan Gosling trying to chase down the top 3, which are all hooked up and together at the moment. But we could see Scallop and Vers go into turn number 11. Holy moly, that was so close to contact, but somehow they managed to both keep it clean, keep it out of the walls, and keep the space wide open. But Vers on the rear of Scallop here could get a tremendous exit off of 13 to 14, and if he gets a slow slip maybe and the toe, but he just isn't close enough, because Scallop has got a fantastic exit there and is able to keep ahead of Vers. And same with Viper Strikes, he's trying to get ever so close and get the best exit he can, but just isn't able to. But this might now be his opportunity, heading towards turn 3 and 4 with the DRS activate. He's going to try and go around the outside, which normally doesn't work here, and he does back out of it, and Twin, it keeps that P5 just for now. And we see up in the top 4 as Ryan Gosling joins the top 3, so there's going to be a scrap for potential P1 as Suffocating will miss out due to that time penalty, which definitely isn't ideal. But Viper Strike's really starting to turn on the heat here and may go for a move very, very shortly. Same with Vers, he's almost touching the rear wing of Scallop to get P7, but we'll just find out what happens as Jakob once again slam dunk with a 3-second time penalty. It's all popping off, Chad. It's all popping off, and it's absolutely crazy. And this is only lap 6. Can you imagine what the race is going to be like? It's going to be crazy to imagine, but we could see Viper Strikes go for a move here as Twin trying to defend. Viper trying to go around the outside and just isn't able to get the move done. Slight contact between them two, and that could be Viper Strikes losing a position to Scallop, which it is, and losing a position to Vers just from that minor contact within the ribbing. But Viper Strikes gets back at it and gets ahead of Vers for P7, but Scallop has managed to make a move and might go for P5 now, because Scallop is looking quite race pacey, shall I say. Very race pacey. Ryan Gosling as well, getting right on the rear wing of the top 3, and might try and go for P3 here on James. But we'll see what happens as we make our way down into 3 and 4. We saw there Ryan very late on the brakes and almost kissing the rear wing of James. Wow. We're getting some very close, thrilling and exciting racing, even though we missed lap 1, which is so annoying, because I have no idea how crazy it was at turn 1. So hopefully we'll be here for the race start, which is looking like we will be, which is absolutely lovely to see. Yeah, it's like I said, it's just all going on, absolutely crazy. Okay, here we go. Ryan is gaining so much. Late on the brakes, he is indeed, because he's right on the rear wing of the Red Bull driver now. And he might go for the move here. So we've got yellow flags in the background. Someone's round. That's going to be Muncher down in P13. Might have been slight contact there between the bottom two, but I'm not too sure. As there you have it then, Ryan Gosling makes his way up into P3 now. And then we've got Tachus and Suffocating going wheel to wheel. Oh, that was a massive, massive squeeze there by Suffocating. Defending really, really hard for that top step, but defending hard, but has that penalty. So we'll lose out on a podium place as well at the moment, but Mr. Tachus is under pressure now from Ryan Gosling heading into turn 1, and Ryan Gosling able to get around Tachus, and Tachus could now be under pressure potentially from James, but James isn't close enough to go for a move. This is absolutely awesome. I thought Tachus might go for the win here in the sprint race, but Ryan Gosling has somehow made his way through, and we now have Scallop going for P5 on Twin, but Twin's still ahead into turn number 4. We go heading to turn number 5 now. Twin is defending so hard for that P5, and Scallop is doing everything in his power and will to get past that driver. So hard racing we're getting. Absolutely fantastic. Making our way to the long straight now, where DRS is activated a little bit sooner. We've got Tachus now up into P2. We see there on the switch of the leaderboards. We do have, though, Scallop going into P5, though, around the outside and making it just before turn 9, heading towards turn 10 now. Hopefully get the second dose of DRS, and will he? He should do. He does indeed. And now Twin will be under pressure from Viper Strikes. He's going to make his way through as well in the background and gets up potentially into P6. And he does. And that is going to be Twin going a little bit deep. And that was almost contact there. But Viper Strikes back down into P7. So Twin Cell already able to make her way through into P6 again. And now Viper's heavily under pressure now from Vers in behind. So Vers might get a move done here. But is he close enough to go late on the brakes? He's going to pull it to the outside and then tuck into the rear wing. It's going to be about exit now because these tyres are probably almost dead, shall we say. So Vers on the gearbox now. Viper Strikes really, really on the gearbox. Wow, that is tremendous. Is he going to be late on the brakes though? Into 3 and 4? No, he's not. Can you go for the switchback though? Unlucky he can't, but it's not the end of the world. Right then, what's going on here further up the field? Not much really to say. The top 4 closely in each other's DRS zones, except obviously for P1, who won't be getting the dose of DRS. But what's interesting is that Tachus will have the DRS, but is struggling to keep with Suffocating. So could that potentially mean that his tyres are struggling a little bit, or does that mean he could, you know, be on for just a difficult race because maybe Australia isn't the strongest circuit? But what I'm seeing now is Ryan Gosling. Ryan with a 3-second time penalty, only lap number 9 out of 12. So now theoretically Suffocating could go on for a P3 finish here if he keeps it going. So Suffocating would be very delighted and very happy with that one. But the gap is starting to build between James Mustang and Ryan Gosling. So James can keep within 3 seconds. He'll be on to get P2. But Ryan is looking very race pacey. So if Ryan can build a 3-second gap within 2-ish laps, then I'd say he's got it. Right then, what's happening here? Well, we've got P5 and P6 running away now from P7 as Viper Strikes has unfortunately dropped out the DRS zone, but for now he's back in it. There is lots of penalties happening left, right and centre, so we're going to actually have a look at that because we could see a few position changes just switch because of the penalties. So let's have a look. Penalties. Okay, we have Viper Strikes for 9 seconds, so he's definitely going to make his way down to P9. And then the rest of the field has about 3 seconds, but a whopping 21 seconds goes out to Jakub Spins a lot, currently down in P12. I was not expecting that, to be honest, so that's an F in the chat for Jakub. Definitely won't be scoring points in the sprint race of how large, shall we say, that gap is really. Yeah, definitely not ideal, but it's not the end of the world because you've still got the main race to go with 17 laps around this lovely circuit. Once again, in the background, we see Vers on the gearbox of Viper Strikes. So Viper Strikes has managed to cut down that gap and managed to obviously cut it down, and that does mean he'll have the DRS. But what is unfortunate is having that DRS assistance doesn't help him having 9 seconds of penalty, so he will drop down to P9. But Viper Strike's really gaining on the driver ahead, pulling to the outside and then tucking into the ring, making slight contact there, so hopefully that isn't wing damage. And what's really just surprised me here is that Terchus, out of all the people, has received a time penalty, and if I am correct, it is 3 seconds worth of penalties right now, which means Suffocating could be potentially on for the win here, or it could be James Mustang down in P4 to take the win in the sprint race around number 1. So James will be hoping and pushing ever so hard now in that car to be on the top step or winning this race, as Suffocating down late on the brakes into turn 11 is going to go for the move. And there is slight contact between the two of them, but they're going to try now and go wheel to wheel, and they are. In the background, we can see Ryan Gosling potentially trying to make this a 3 wide moment, but decides not to. It's absolutely crazy. Down to turn 13 now. Turn 14, there's still contact between these drivers. Left, right, and centre. Ryan Gosling could get a double opportunity of an overtake here, as it will be Suffocating. They won't have the DRS. But what's really helping James Mustang here, down in P4 at the moment, with Terchus back in the lead, is that the more they keep fighting, the more he'll get closer to winning the sprint race. So here we go then. Ryan Gosling sliding to P2, Suffocating into P3 at the moment. We've still got Terchus ahead, heading into the tricky braking zone of Sector 1 of turns 4, 5, and 6 and 7 ahead of us to go. But Terchus in the lead of this race. James Mustang 1.6 behind, in contention for winning the sprint race. He'll be absolutely delighted with that. Hopefully he does not get a penalty himself. You can see in the background he is probably pushing as hard as ever, really, because Australia is such a tough circuit. One crucial mistake, you're losing the car into the wall, spinning round, or crucially getting a penalty. But here's an attack now coming from Terchus, trying to defend from Ryan Gosling, who's attacking, and Suffocating in the background, trying to go for an attack move as well. Might be late on the brakes, heading into turn number 11 now. But it's going to be Ryan Gosling trying to go for the move. Suffocating in the background. There's contact between the pair of them. Almost. Both of their sprint races are in. It's almost once again as Terchus is off the track. Terchus is off. Suffocating slots into P2. It'll be, I believe it's going to be Ryan Gosling will take the win of the sprint race. But on penalties on this day for the sprint race, round number 1 here in Season 9 for F2, it'll be officially James Mustang crossing the line to take the win. He'll be delighted. Ryan Gosling down into P2, Suffocating into P3, and Terchus drops down to P4, Swin into P5, Vers finishes in P6, Scallop P7, Fazbear P8, Viper Strikes P9, Lazy Banana crossing the line in P10. Fantastic. Maverick to finish in P11, Jakob to finish in P12, and Muncher 48 to finish in P13. But take a bow to James Mustang. Takes the win here in the sprint race. Totally unexpected. That was all gifted and helped with the penalties from Ryan, Suffocating, and Terchus. But take a bow. Absolutely fantastic. You know what, Soybean? I couldn't disagree anymore. Literally, take a bow. Fantastic. As soon as Muncher crosses the line, we'll get straight in to the full race around this circuit. But that was fantastic. That was fantastic. But what's going on here? I don't know what's happening. I'm back in the pits, but I'm not seeing much. My game having problems again. I might have to rejoin the lobby again. Give it a minute. I'm not too sure what's going on, chat. Hello? Game, you going to respond? Please respond. Well then, chat. Back to the calendar screen you go. I'm going to get this game sorted because for some reason it's decided to go, you know what, Flynn? I'm going to die again because I want to. So apologies on this, chat. I have no idea what's going on today with my game or with the computer. It's all a bit of a mess, to be honest, chat. So I guess we're going to get loaded back in. After we are loaded in, we'll get the race done. And then also finish up on a few things as we usually do. But yeah, we'll get loaded in, see what the hell's going on. And then next time, I will just probably do what I used to do. And I'll stream from my capture card. And we'll just stream from the PlayStation because I just got no clue what's going on. No clue. You know when you're trying to fix something and it gets really annoying and really frustrating? That's how I feel right now. So we're getting... We have received an invite from the lovely Suffocating, so... Yeah. I guess, chat, that's all we can do. A restart doesn't hurt. Hopefully we don't miss the start of the race, though, because I'd be really gutted if we did. Yeah. It's annoying, but it happens. I mean, the only annoying solution is that we have to restart every time. But I don't know why. But we will just roll with it for now. And worry about it for another day. But if we have missed the race start, if we have, we have. But hopefully we haven't. That'd be great to not have missed it. Switch to the screen in a minute, chat. Just bear with. Give me a few moments to set up and we're back in. But I do apologise. Just waiting on the race results because it's taking its time. Okay, we're back in. We're here. Just gotta wait for the race results to be over, and hopefully we can get into the lobby. Anytime. Do 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 do. But no, guys, we're still waiting for this to progress to the next screen. What does everybody think about that race? And what did you enjoy watching? Did you enjoy the top 3 watching? Or did you enjoy the, you know, top, like, 9 to 6 race, you know, battling going on? But let's get into the lobby. Hopefully we haven't missed the race start. It did say race results, so hopefully we haven't missed it. But if we have, I'll be annoyed, but I just don't know what to say. It's confusing what's going on, because normally this doesn't happen. Normally. Ba-dum, 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 ba-da-da-dum. There we go. We made it just in time. Maybe? Yes? I think we have, chat. Yes, we have. So 5 red lights here at the F2 race once again for the main race of the feature race. And we have Mr. Tattoos down up into P1 into turn 1 and looking very spicy and good there. A few moves happening in the background like the Vers and Scallop getting interesting down at turn 1. And then in the background we do have Twin potentially going to go for a P4 moment. This is only lap 1, so obviously different compounded tyres happening left, right and centre, making their way out of 4 and 5 now. Some drivers in the background, as you can see, they're wheel to wheel. There is a bit of a spin and a loss of front wing there. I believe that's contact between... Was that Lazy Banana in the background losing that wing? I think it was, you know. Right on board of him quickly and see. No, I don't see... oh, someone's in the wall. Oh, someone's gone straight on. That is going to be Twin in the wall. Drop it down to P12, so a few positions gains there. And I believe it's going to be Jam Boy with a bit of wing damage. Yeah, it is. Yeah, his left winglet isn't looking in the best of conditions, shall we just say. So definitely not ideal, but fighting happening left, right and centre. Gaps beginning to open. This is only lap 1, which is absolutely crazy. I think Viper Strikes as well carrying a bit of damage or having a poor exit out with turn number 9 heading towards 10, but now heading towards to number 11 with almost him. Yeah, I think he's got a bit of damage, I must say. I'm not too sure, but that's Fazbear making his way up into P8 now, past Viper Strikes, and now we have it calming down just a little bit, but obviously it will change, it will happen. You got Jakob somehow into P6. That's a great start by him, and have a lot of cars behind. He is very good. He'll be slow, but he is very good at defending, trust me on that one. Mr. Tatuso, a 137.487 on the medium compound tyre right now. Fastest driver on track. Dark Penguin, hello, how are we doing? How are you? Or Pengu, should I say, sorry. I didn't get confused with the penguin emoji totally, you know, Kappa. Yeah, how are we doing, Dark? How you doing? What's going on? I mean, not much at the moment. I mean, it's a very tricky circuit to overtake on, so there is going to be, obviously, drivers behind each other, not making overtakes into risky corners. At the moment, we have Ryan Gosling around about 0.4 of a second behind Mr. Jachus. I don't think DRS is enabled this lap, or is it? No, it isn't. So that'll be on next season. That'll be on the next game of 24, you know. So lap 2, DRS will be enabled. So that's very, very interesting and exciting to know. So we get a lap early of the dose of DRS, so we could see a lot of battles happen, and it would only be lap 2. So we'll just see what happens there. You know what I mean, chat? We'll see what happens. But now we have Jakob about to lose a position, unfortunately, to what's going on here today? Right, back to the racing action. Apologies about that, chat. We do have yeah, sorry. So Jakob dropping down to P7 with James making his way up into P6. Suffocating in P5 at the moment, but slightly gaining on the drivers, which is 4th and 3rd. But Scallop about to get past Vers here, heading down to turn 1, having no use of the DRS, but able to be late on the brakes into turn 1 and have the dose of the DRS once again. It should be this lap. He has it? No, he hasn't, unless he's not using it. Unless my game is really broken and just not showing the DRS wing open now, which is annoying if it isn't. But what's interesting is Suffocating is right on the gearbox here, or Scallop. So Scallop either struggling with tyre temps, got a little bit of damage, or like I said, just struggling in general. There's a big train now though. I say that and someone's crashed. Why is the track map off? Should be the track map should be on. There we go. It's Muncher dropping down to P13. Not ideal. Now dropping down to P14. So, yeah, they may have a difficult race to fight, but we'll see what happens there as Scallop makes its way up into P3. Just about gets past Vers there. Heading towards turn 9, now heading towards turn 10, now heading towards turn 11. Dose of DRS once again, but unfortunately Vers won't get it, but Suffocating will get slipped from the car ahead and the car ahead of that to get a double toe, but it just isn't enough road for him to make the move done and stick. But in the background we have James Mustang, previous race winner of the sprint race of round 1 here at Australia, heading on to lap 4. And Suffocating looking really confident there on the power. And may go for a move into turn 1. He's looking to the outside. He's got a little bit of a better exit than Vers. Wheel to wheel, the pair of them. Oh. I'm guessing Ollie just got a bit worried there and just had to cut just a little bit more than he expected to. He may have got a warning for that. But now we have on our left-hand side James trying to go for a move there. But Ollie's saying, no, you're not getting past, so you can stay behind. Some very great defense with some drivers today. Very fantastic. The problem is, though, the way you drive in this game, shall we say, like, if you drive calmly, you're less likely to use less of your tyre wear. But however, if you race aggressively, your tyres will degrade a lot more. Because you're pushing the car a lot more, you're pushing it around corners, you're drifting. It just, yeah, not a great sign. But we do have more positions changing left, right and centre, and that is going to be Twin getting past Viper Strike. So P number 9, Viper Strike's making his way, tumbling down the order to P10. Definitely not what he wanted and definitely not ideal. Fazbear now on the gearbox of Jakob. Jakob still in P7 and in the dose of DRS with the drivers fighting ever so aggressively ahead. So Viper in P10, in the DRS as well. Jakob on the other case got the DRS as well and able to you know, keep the train. But I say that and he might lose at this lap as we had yellow flags again, and that's more drivers spinning in the background. We could see Jakob be under pressure here from P8, but we'll see. We will see. No pressure yet. Jakob is okay for now, but look at Suffocating. He is just so good in Sector 1. He really wants to get past here. Of Vers. He really wants to get past, but he just can't. Because Vers is doing everything in his power and will to keep that driver behind. But as we make our way to the massive straight now of Sector 2, making our way to turns number 9, he will get the dose of DRS. And can he do what Scallop did? And can he get past just before the braking zone? They're still there, and he does stay with Scallop, gets past, bit of contact there between the pair of them, but Suffocating is through and up into P4. Will get the double dose of the DRS. In the background, we can also see James Mustang gaining, but isn't gaining enough. But we can see Jakob, though, having a bit of a fight now with P8 and P9 in the background. Is 1.2 away from the DRS, so has lost it. So could be under pressure on the exit at turn 14. On the other hand, James Mustang doing really well on those tyres at the moment. Lap number 6 heading to lap number 7 now. Pulls out to the right hand side. Suffocating is blocking Vers, so Vers has nowhere to go. So James could get the move done here for P5, and he does. What a tremendous move that was. Absolutely fantastic. Jakob now under pressure and going very slowly, so could have gone off track at turn number 1. Dropping down now to P number 8, that's Fazbear, up into P7. We're getting some fantastic racing and overtakes tonight. Absolutely amazing. But with that fighting being said and being done, Suffocating really starting to put the pressure now, starting to push to P3, which is around about 1.6 ahead. So if Suffocating has got the pace, he could do it. But can he keep the drivers behind as well while trying to push for P3? I don't know. Maybe he's got it in him, maybe he hasn't, but we'll just find out and see, as we've got Vers almost on the gearbox there at James Mustang, and might actually get past here on the exit of turn number 10. But James Mustang, unfortunately, does get a slam dunk, a 3-second time penalty for multiple warnings. If you're not too sure what that means, what that means in hindsight is he's done 3 track limit warnings, and if you do it the 3rd time, you get a warning, and you get a penalty as well. Yeah, they can hurt, trust me. It can also ruin your race. So now, in this situation, James Mustang has got to pray that either the driver behind, which is Vers, gets a penalty, or the driver ahead of him gets a penalty, but a more severe penalty. But we'll find out what happens, as Fazbear is trying to close the gap to P6, but that gap is building every so often, so James will be very happy with that one. That obviously the gap is building, so he may be able to be contention for a podium here if the drivers ahead of him and behind him get a penalty as well. But the gaps are now starting to open, so our closest battle on track is going to be also the top two, and this little pack here of P6, P7. But I say that, and Fazbear starting to catch, so Fazbear could be in charge of challenging P6 and P5. We'll just find out and see what happens, you know. That's all we can do. Take a risky gamble, and we wait to see what the result could be. But we could see Tetris here go for the lead of this race. Ryan Gosling been leading at this moment of time. We could get a new race leader on the exit of 10, heading towards 11. Unfortunately, it looks like Tetris isn't going to be close enough to get the move done, but he is really reeling in Ryan and might have the opportunity and greatness to just back off a little bit, get out the dirty air, and just save those tyres, you know. But what I have just realised is that we've had a switch for positions, and that's Vers getting past James Mustang finally for P number 5, and now Vers will set eyes and try and chase after Suffocating, who is 3.3 seconds up the road. James Mustang jumping down to P6 now, but Fazbear looking very close behind, only a second behind James Mustang. So we'll see. We'll see. Oh, never mind. My apologies. I thought Suffocating was 3 seconds up the road, but he's not. He's 3.4 away from P3, and Vers is only 0.3 behind. So we could get a nice same replay here of 4 drivers fighting for P4. So we'll just see what happens. At the moment, it's all smooth and calm, and no crazy shenanigans happening. We're literally just waiting. Maybe we'll get it here, you know, heading down to turn 9 and 10. Could we? Could we see a move? Not yet, but we could see an exit move on turn 10 because Vers is looking very racy and very close to Suffocating this lap. It could be late on the brakes, but we'll see. Nope. It's going to slot in behind. As you know, F2 cars to F1 cars. Handling model, a little bit different. Maybe a little bit heavier in the F2 cars. But also the F2 cars, which they don't have, is the ERS assisted. So it's all about corner exits and corner entrances. And the only help they get is DRS. So we do have James Mustang going into the pits, getting off those super softs, I believe it is, and making their way to the medium compound of tyres. And they'll be out of the pits. Can they try and get ahead of Suffocating, Vers and Fazbear? Potentially. We'll see. As we have Lazy Banana also into the pit lane, and Twin as well into the pit lane. We'll keep our eyes on James Mustang to see what he can produce and what he can do. Oh my goodness, that's Jakob going very late and very deep into turn number 3, heading out of turn 4 now. And maybe his tyres are dying ever so slightly, as he's been on this tyres 8 laps now, and it's not great for him to be on this set of super softs around Australia. As we know, this track is very high for tyre deg. But what's happening right now for the top 2? Not much, is Jakob 3-second time penalty for multiple warnings. Yeah, as I was saying, top 2 not really changed at the moment. 0.4 is the gap between them two. Ryan is doing an excellent job, really, of keeping Tetris at bay, but Tetris might just be chilling and waiting for the right moment to pounce and get the move done. Right then, back on board with these 3 drivers. Are they going to come to the pits? That's what I want to know. They're going to go a little bit longer. I'd say they go a little bit longer, but they're all going to stay out. And actually saying that, Scallop on the medium tyres comes in, but he gets a 5-second time penalty for speeding in the pit lane and goes on to a set of the super softs. This could really benefit and help out James Mustang. But is it though? Is it going to help him out? Where is Scallop? There's Scallop. Obviously, James Mustang won't get ahead of Scallop because Scallop was up in P3 and he had a massive, I think it was a 3-second gap. So James unfortunately won't get past Scallop this lap, but what is it? Scallop now obviously pitted, comes out of the pit lane, obviously ahead of James Mustang, but that gap has dropped ever so slightly between them two. Yeah, that was an interesting one, but Scallop now with a lot of work to do with that penalty. Oh, as he goes off track there, that could be a warning. That could potentially be a warning because he went very wide there. But we'll see. As we have a spinner, and it's Jakob Spins a lot. Good old name. It rhymes as well. And it suits his name as well, to be honest. So there you go, Jakob. When you watch his replay after. That's why they call you Jakob Spins a lot, I guess. Right, James Mustang down in P9. Those tyres have got to be dead on that car. That's probably why he's struggling for tyre grip, to be honest. Are we going to see these come to the pit lane yet? Please come in the pit lane because I want content. Ryan Gosling's in. Take-Two stays out. Ryan's in. Suffocating comes in. Almost smacking the wall there. Could have been close to wing damage. Okay. Fazbear stays out. Vers does come in. Suffocating will go on to the set of Super Softs. But let's get on board with James Mustang. Has he done enough, pace-wise, to try and get ahead? I don't think he has. It'll be very close on exit, though, between himself, Suffocating, and Vers. So here comes James. They're now leaving the pits. And unfortunately, James boxing early hasn't done the trick. Obviously, their tyres will be cold. But as they're on a set of Super Softs, you know, they'll be warming up fairly quickly. So, unfortunately, it hasn't worked for James. But for Suffocating and Vers, it's worked for them because they were like, oh my goodness, we haven't been, you know, done on James for getting ahead of us. As Fazbear now gets a 3-second time penalty for multiple warnings. So, in hindsight, Suffocating and Vers should get ahead of... I want to say get ahead of Viper Strikes and Fazbear, surely. Tatus is entering the pit lane now to get on a set of Super Softs. We're going to go aboard a Ryan Gosling, who should really get ahead of Tatus here. Tatus making his pit stop, though, onto the set of the Super Softs, is now about to leave the pit lane and is quite far away from pit exit. So your new race leader is going to be Ryan Gosling. And in the background, you can see Tatus now leaving the pit lane. And that's going to be Scallop now up into P2. Obviously, slam dunk with a 5-second time penalty. Tatus now in P3. It's a race on his hands now. It is definitely a race on his hands. But can Scallop spoil the party, slow down Ryan Gosling if he can get within a second of the DRS zone? Well, it's just a lot to say and a lot to do, but we'll see what happens. As Lazy Banana, a 3-second time penalty for multiple warnings. So right now, it's going to be a little bit of a quiet race for Suffocating and Vers, because at the moment, as it stands, Tatus no penalty in a comfortable P3. We've got Scallop in P2 with a 5-second time penalty. So Suffocating might be able to steal a podium away from Scallop if Scallop makes huge mistakes. But we'll see if he can get within DRS of Ryan. The only advantage that Tatus has got to potentially win this race is he's got a lap fresher than Ryan Gosling on those Super Softs. And we know how much the Super Softs do wear off. We know how much they do. So, we'll see what happens. For now, it's going to be a little bit quiet as a 131.344 going out to Ryan Gosling. fastest driver on track at the moment of time. We've got Viper Strikes down in P9. Maybe going to go for a move on PA on Twin. He's going to try and go for the old switcheroo on the exit of 14. He isn't able to get the switcheroo, or maybe he is ever so slightly. He almost does, but he's going to get the helpful hand of DRS, making our way down to turn number 1. And he gets the move done for PA late on the brakes. Gets it done. But what's his penalty situation right now? 3 seconds and 11 seconds to Fazbear and Lazy Banana. So, bit of an interesting one. Interesting situations and interesting scenarios, as Vers and Suffocating, their gap distance is 1.2. So those two now separating. None of them will get DRS. It's Tetus! Out of all the drivers, out of all the people, right? Unbelievable. Gets a 3-second time penalty. And that will be for exceeding track limits. Suffocating, sitting in P4, same with Vers. They'll be so happy to see that penalty handed and placed on Tetus. Out of all the people, I did not expect it from Tetus. But it looks like Suffocating is really flying right now and trying to close that gap, because he knows if he can get under 3 seconds, he can be on for a podium here. Tetus is really starting to also close that gap to Scallop. So we'll see what he can do. Yeah, it's all getting a little bit quiet, but we're almost at the end of the race. We've got, I'd say, 2 to 3-ish full laps of racing still to go around this circuit. As we can see, as the racing's almost coming to a close, we do see Ryan Gosling in a comfortable P1 at the moment, and it looks like no one's going to take that away from him unless someone has a massive crash, aka himself, or just, like I said, nothing happens and he wins the race. You know, first race of the season and he does it. But Tetus now 2 seconds away from Scallop. Scallop in P2, but slightly struggling, I'd say, on his tyres, or Tetus is having the more upper pace hand. The Suffocating in the background, doing the same. Push as hard as you can for these final laps of this race, as Vers 3-second time penalty for multiple warnings. Yeah, push as hard as you can, as Suffocating's doing, and it could be on for a P5 here. Not P5, a P3. Because obviously Scallop's got a 5-second time penalty. That's what I meant to say, chat, alright? That's what I meant to say. My brain isn't working today, alright? My brain isn't functioning, shall I say. Isn't functioning well, chat. But Tetus has really cut down that gap now. He's now going to be within a second, so he might actually get DRS's lap. I think he will. He will get DRS's lap. So, making our way through this Est Bank, you could say section almost. No DRS wing flap open from Tetus, so that does mean he won't get it on the exit of turn number 10, but he will get it this lap. And if I am correct, I did see a purple sector, so this could be a new improvement for a fastest lap attempt. Don't quote me on that though, okay? Don't quote me on that. I was thinking there was going to be a dive there by Tetus, as there's slight rear contact between himself and Scallop, making their way out of turn 14 now. Obviously, Scallop 5 seconds, Tetus 3 seconds. Look at the difference. I think Scallop just let him through there. There's no way he had that pace advantage. A Scallop 3-second time penalty. Oh no. Oh, Tetus is off track. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness, I did not realise. Tetus! trying to go for a move there where you don't normally see it happen. Contact there. 3 and 4, and Tatus was in the wall on the exit of 2. He must have lost the car or something, but Suffocating could now be on charge for a P2 finish here. It could happen. It could happen. Wing damage for Tatus, and I think it's an 8-second to 9-second penalty. It's an 8-second penalty for Scallop. Ollie could be on for a podium here. And Vers as well could be on for a podium. It's already race 1 and we're getting crazy drama heading to the almost final lap of this race. And it'll be Ryan Gosling still leading the way. And doing the last lap of this circuit, Albert Park today. He crosses the line to start the last lap, lap number 17. We'll come back to him in just a little bit because we might see a little bit of a dogfight between these two. But Suffocating and Vers both on the hinge of pushing as hard as they can to steal the podiums away from Scallop and Tatus. And in the background, we do see someone spinning in the background. I think that's going to be Jakob. Yeah, it is indeed. Jakob spins a lot. Having a bit of a moment there on the exit of turn 1 to turn 2. Oh, Tatus, man. I think he'll be gutted with that. He'll be gutted, but he does seem to be quite quick at the moment. Hence the wing damage. But maybe could be on for a podium if Suffocating isn't too close on, but he is very close, so I doubt Tatus will get P2 here. Vers as well, I'm not too sure. He is quite far back from this lot, so I think Tatus could get P3 here, but we'll see what happens. Suffocating, doing the best he can, but we're going to go on board with Ryan Gosling, as there's going to be no more last dive moments. I see in the background we could have Fazbear go for a move, so we'll come back to that in just a second. We're going to have Ryan Gosling coming around turns number 12, turns number 13, turns number 14. Dominant race from him. He's going to win the feature race, season opener feature race, first win of the season, round number 1, goes to Ryan Gosling, crosses the line, absolutely fantastic. Fazbear does a last minute move and gets into P5, but he does have a hefty penalty. Tatus P2, Scallop P3, Suffocating across the line, and go P3, so can't obviously beat Tatus for P2, and Vers gets up into P5, obviously, because Fazbear had a penalty higher than him, so he drops down to P6. James Mustang across the line to hopefully finish in P7, with Viper Strikes comfortably behind in P8. Twin to finish in P9, and Lazy Banana, our final points paying position to come home and finish in P10. Le Maverick to finish in P11, and then Jakob to finish it off, even though he's been lapped. He's done. So it's just Le Mav to cross the line, and then that is it. We are done for today. Obviously, my game's still broken, so we'll see cars going around the track, and then we'll be facing the pit wall. So we are just going to end it there for today. Thank you all so much for watching. Congratulations to the race winners of Ryan Gosling, Tatus and P2, and Suffocating, taking the final podium top step of the first race of the season. It was lovely to watch. We'll be back next week, once again on Friday, 8 o'clock for F2, for round number 2 at Vegas. Make sure to keep an eye on our socials. Go to our Twitter, Instagram. Keep an eye on Tier 1 going live this weekend on Sunday. Tier 2 as well going live on Sunday. Keep an eye on ACC as well, because that'll be happening tomorrow, actually. Saturday, 8 o'clock UK time for the first round of the season at Spa. So stay tuned for that one. You guys have been fantastic. I'll catch you in the next one. And it's me, Mr. Flynn, signing off. Bye!